to think about losing any of you. Thank you, and I love you.
Dear Mom, Dad, and Christine, I normally don't say I love you when I really mean it. I only do it when you want to hear it. Well, with me being gone, I honestly can say that I love you with all my heart. You mean the world to me, and nothing will ever change that. Don't let me be gone ever change that warm, fuzzy feeling you always gave me. Always smile through the good and bad times and never change. And that's what I loved about you guys. You never change when something goes wrong, always smiling. But in the end, I want to say some things to all of you. Dad, although I despise you yelling at me or anyone else and the way you act, I just want to tell you how much I have always admired your courage and your confrontation. I know that you have gone through a lot, and I really listen to all these stories you tell me. When you yell at me, I spend hours thinking about what you said. I always figure out what you mean, and I know that you can tell when I do. And for that, I want to thank you for making me the character I am today. Mom, you have always been there for me. You can always see when something is wrong with me. You know me inside and out, but the one thing you haven't noticed was how much we were alike. You did things a certain way, and I always did the same as you. You make things more complicated than they seem. You are always about work. You always have jokes. You have changed me. You made me into someone who is strong, family-oriented, and loyal. And for that, I thank you. Christine, you are always there for me. Me and you are always together, sharing stories, having fun, and creating memories. Your character is indescribable. I honestly don't know how my life would be without you. You have made my life exciting, and I honestly thank you for all you have done. Mom, Dad, and Christine, I love you with all my heart. I will always be with you no matter what. Love always, Carl.
Good morning. My name is Wendy Reynolds. I am a judge in the Bay Area. I'm also a former prosecutor, which was someone who would take a DUI driver and put them behind bars. Today I'm going to put on my judge hat for a minute. And I'd like the defendant, Alex Cody, to please rise. In a real court of law, Alex, you'd be sentenced for killing 3 people and injuring 3 others. The sentence that you would be receiving would be between 15 and 20 years in the state penitentiary. Okay, you may sit down. Now I want to tell you about a case I was involved with in the DA's office. This case happened on a Thursday night. It's about 10 o'clock at night on a 2-lane road, something like State Route 247 that you have here. There was a dad in the driver's seat, there was a mom in the passenger seat, and there were 2 little kids in the back. One was a 5-year-old little girl, and one was a 1-year-old little girl. Now, before the family knew it, a pickup truck crossed over the center divider of this 2-lane country road and slammed head-on into that family's car. It looked something like that car that you saw earlier. The front seat of the car ended up being in the back seat. And when the paramedics and the firemen came, they found that the dad had been killed instantly. The mom was killed instantly. The 1-year-old little girl in the back seat had broken her neck and was dead as well. Now, they didn't find the 5-year-old little girl. The car was on the tow truck being towed away when they actually went back in and they found her. When they found her, she was blue and they rushed her, the medevaced her in the helicopter, and I found out later that the DUI driver had prior DUI arrests, and he was under the influence the night that he killed these 3 people. Now you think something like that just doesn't happen in real life. Did the 5-year-old live? Well, this case actually did happen. It happened to me. I was the 5-year-old in that car. I lost my whole family. My mom, my dad, and my sister, everybody I loved was killed in 1 second because a guy chose to drink and drive his car. And I pay with it every day of my life. I never got to see my mom and dad again, or my little sister grow up. You know, the killer of my family, he thought he was going to get home safely. You know, he was at a party with his friends, drinking, doing a little marijuana. And, you know, he had a choice to make. He had a choice to make, and he made it. And then because of that choice, I have to pay for it. And my whole family paid for it with their lives. He actually got out of jail and he went home to his family again. I never saw my family ever again. I never got to go home to my house, the house I grew up in. I never got to go back there. So what happens? If you can imagine, I mean, I never got to say goodbye because they had the funerals while I was still in the hospital. I actually almost died myself. And for some reason, I survived. I'm kind of thankful, though, that I didn't get to go to the funeral because I can't imagine what, you know, my grandparents went through seeing a casket like that and another casket like that and another one that's half that size that had my sister in it. I can only imagine. You know, and the really thing that makes me the most angry about this is that it was preventable. It didn't have to happen. My parents could have lived a long life if that guy had made a better choice. If he had chose to give his keys to somebody else, or to call home for a ride, or call somebody, take a taxi. There were so many options for him. He didn't have to drink and drive that night. But he did. I'm going to show you some pictures from before the crash scene.
Sorry.
This is my mom and my dad. This is at their prom. Don't you guys have prom in about 2 weeks? They were high school sweethearts, and they were 25 and 26 years old when they were killed. This is my mom and dad's wedding day. I'm sure they thought they'd be married for 50 years or so. So my mom holding me when I was a baby. You know, I'm sure she was thinking maybe in that picture, wow, I can't wait, you know, to see her get married and have kids of her own and graduate from high school. And she didn't get to see any of that.